All right, guys, we are with our good friend Steven. Hey, Steven.
Hey guys.
We are doing a deck tech for old school Magic. Just got done with Lurkercon 4. Your brief thoughts of Lurkercon 4. What'd you think, man?
Oh, it was a blast. The event was so much fun. Great turnout. 50 people came. It was just an awesome experience. And Danny did a wonderful job hosting it. It was a great event. Anyone that's interested in doing some old school Magic, contact Dan. It's a blast.
Oh, God.
Best format by far.
Thank you, Steven. So honestly, guys, thank you again for coming. It was you guys who came. But Steven, thanks for the kind words. I'm not going to be tournament organizing anything. It was just it was a casual meetup, and we had a lot of fun. It was awesome. So I had the distinct pleasure of losing to Steven, and there there were some funny ass stories, guys. I will we'll have to share this with you in a minute, but let's go through this deck. What was your record, by the way, on this?
So I did 3-1.
Okay.
And I only lost that last game due to some sideboard jank. As you see, I currently run no sideboard because I believe that you should bring your guns to the table, and that's that. So this deck currently runs no sideboard, and I did 3-1.
All right, let's. So what would you call this thing?
The whole theme of this deck is moat. Everything revolves around this card. This is the almost essentially the win condition of the game because it does such a great job about locking anyone out that doesn't use flying. And every creature in this deck uses flying, just so I can work around moat. Having the 4 flying men is a key. 1-drop blue, 1/1 flyers, gotta have it in moat. Great aggro right from the gate, puts the threat on them. Followed by 2 falcons, 1/1 flying vigilance. Great way for a turn 2 drop. Now you're swinging with coming into turn 3 with this bad boy.
Yeah, this guy's pretty good. Or even turn 1 sometimes.
Turn 1, if you drop a Lotus or something, you're having this out turn 1, it sets the tempo. Now, I'm only running 1 Sarah, and so she's...
Oh, man. I played against this stupid deck, and I controlled Magic to Sarah, and I thought he was playing more than 1. That's why I was worried.
Only 1 Sarah.
You little tricky man.
Yep.
All right. Why 1, not 2?
I'm only running Run Sarah because it's a 5-drop. And then over my land fixing, I'm only running, I believe, 22 land sources. So with strip mines in the format, my lands are a little low.
22.
But because I have so many 1 and 2 drops, I'm not too worried about having a whole lot of land. Plus the land tax will give me that boost just in case I need it.
This card works well for you. Absolutely.
It's a one-of card. I've been kind of debating on maybe having 2 of them in the deck. But
no, I like this card. I think when you have so many little 1-droppers, or most people are playing way more mana. I think this card is a thing. This card is great, guys. Land tax, especially with your deck.
Oh yeah, land tax is essential. Having 4 disenchants is a must in old school. There's so much artifacts in there, so much enchantments. If someone drops an abyss, I need to have an answer for it. Have to have disenchants. Swords to Plowshare, a great white card, dealing with any threat on the board, and it allows me to keep creatures at bay until I can drop some of the heavier hitters on the field.
Now, Unstable Mutation, you only have a 1-of. That doesn't come up that often. Is that kind of like a game finisher? Or?
It can be a game finisher. It's something that people don't expect that's going to happen. When I drop this on a flying man, now I'm having 4/4 for 2 mana. And so it can be very, very effective early game or late game.
That's true.
And I decided to do 2 unsummons in the deck.
Unsummon.
It's one of those cards that not people expect you to have. It kind of gives you that wild card advantage. So, for instance, if someone does a control magic on my Sarah, I can now bounce back the creature to my hand. So I don't have to get into a counter war with someone. I just let it resolve. They think they have the upper hand. I
unsummon it. They lose that control magic. Yeah, interesting.
And so if someone wants to swords my Sarah, instead of having a counter war, I can just pull it back to my hand.
They lose that swords. Very interesting. Okay, so the mana base is pretty normal, guys. 4 tundras, some islands, and some plains. Okay, let's talk about strategy here, because sequencing. What's an ideal keep on this one, and what are some not keepers?
I will keep a Library of Alexandria in my opening hand if I have no other mana. I will risk it that aggressively to where I'm hoping that they don't have a strip mine. But if library's in your hand turn 1, I will keep with no other mana sources.
Okay.
And
now, if you're on the play, do you drop it down or do you just say go?
Ideally, you'd want to be on the draw.
The draw on this.
The draw.
Yeah, but if you draw on the play,
Mm-hmm.
do you do that? Do you worry about the strip, right? You want to take advantage of that draw advantage.
Always got to worry about the strip, because with running 4 strip mines in most decks, this deck currently, this deck has 0.
So the question is, do you play library?
Risk it every time.
6 cards, and then hope they don't strip it. Then draw, again.
Yep.
Versus waiting around and just not playing the library, get 7 cards. I'm saying because this way you get the. So you're saying always. You're always hoping they don't have the strip in the very beginning.
Always hoping they don't have the strip.
I don't like playing the library in the beginning sometimes because I feel like I always feel like they strip it.
Yeah, it's a gamble, and you're taking the calculated risk on what's the probability of them having a strip. Let's roll the dice, see what happens. And so I'll keep a hand with library. If I have 2 lands, gosh, I'm set. If I have 2 lands in my opening hand, I can run this deck. It's going to give me the option of possibly an Ancestral, Time Walk, 3 lands right around the corner. I know I can start dropping my heavy hitters with 3 lands on the field.
By the way, guys, these are proxies also, some of these cards. Some of the cards, not the Zephyr Falcon. That is an original Legends reserve list. I'm just kidding. There's no reserve list on that. But this card, this Zephyr Falcon, by the way, guys, Vigilant. I'm not sure about the Vigilance effect of that card, but I know that it was effective. As a 2-drop, when you have the Flying Man and the Zephyr, it really just made it very difficult. I mean, it was like two Mistress Factory guys. It was like a Mistress Factory hitting you in the air, nothing you can do. It was brutal. It was really quick.
It's a great tool to use for a defensive strategy till I'm waiting to get mode on the field. Because now I can keep the factories at bay for a couple turns until that gives me the ability to draw into mode.
I have a question on Unsummon. People would argue and say Unsummon's not that good. What if you put 2 Psionic Blasts or something? Or go 4 of Psionic Blasts, because what you're doing here is sometimes you can just end the game instantly, right?
Psionic Blast is a great card. I've kind of pondered about putting that in there.
Yeah.
The problem I run into right now is I don't have any life gain other than possibly getting a swords for a life gain, but losing a life every turn due to this bad boy, it really can take a toll. 4 or 5 turns, you've lost 5 life. Now you're going to look at possibly doing a Psionic Blast, losing 2 more life. So you kind of have a balancing act of how much life are you willing to risk losing to be more aggressive. And with having 2 or 3 of these out on the field at one time, and I'm getting pinged for 3 a turn, it can get pretty aggressive.
Oh, that's good. How about this strategy? What if you had the ability to, let's say you had like a Flying Man and you had Serendib, and let's say you had like Lotus, Sapphire, a land. Would you sack the Lotus and put Serendib out instantly?
Guaranteed.
And a Flying Man also.
Oh yeah. Both
okay. So you go full aggro. You don't hold anything out.
There's nothing held back.
Okay.
I want to pump and dump my hand so quickly, and then if I can resolve that Time Twister on now turn 2, so I dumped my hand with the Flying Man, the Genie, Time Twister. Now we're on turn 2. I'm swinging for 4, and I have a full set of cards.
So Time Twister is a dream if you get that with the other stuff. But there's no tutoring effects here.
There's no tutoring.
So this is going to be like one of those, I get them or no?
Yep.
Yeah.
And so I have a little bit of card draw with the Brain Geyser, the Ancestral, and then the Time Twister.
Well, this deck, guys, I had the pleasure of playing against Steven. He kicked my ass the first game. I was playing Weissman's, the deck version, and Weissman's version plays 1 moat, which doesn't do crap against this deck. But I'm telling you, this Singleton Flying Man literally kicked my butt for like 8 life at one point. And I finally had to do something about this. And then he put Zephyr Falcon. I was like, oh, God, here we go. And so the problem I see with a lot of people trying to fight this thing is this is all in the air. And with Shivan Dragon as the only win condition, I only have so many swords and disenchant. I mean, really there's nothing to disenchant in this deck other than the fact that you have moat, but you're not going to play moat against me when I really have no creatures. So this deck really has, I mean, just a lot of speed, and it's super fast. And the second game was probably the most funniest game we ever played. Steven and I was down. Okay, so I had a Mirror Universe out, and then he had a couple flying man, some creatures. He didn't know if he should attack me or not. I counted his deck. He had 28 cards left. And here's the caveat, guys. My only way to win is Shivan Dragon. So he swords my Shivan Dragon because I stupidly casted Shivan Dragon without protecting it against swords, of course. And so he swords it out. So I have no win condition other than decking him. So I basically I just misplayed all over. I counted his cards. He had 28 cards left. I go off and what? I Brain Geyser your ass for 14.
14 Brain Geyser me.
And there's 14 cards left still in your deck. And I was just thinking, I don't know what I was thinking. Because I thought that Mirror Universe would hold up. But, after talking to like Brian Weissman, what did he say? He said, Dan, you only Brain Geyser if you actually the next turn you win. Because what I'm giving you is all these answers to now disenchant that Mirror Universe or whatever, right?
I mean, I was thinking possibly the strategy might have been to Brain Geyser me for 14, regrowth, Brain Geyser the next turn, another 14 the next turn to go for the win. That's what I was assuming was.
So that was the best, yeah.
But unfortunately, drawing 14 cards, I had quite a bit of answers to anything that would have come up the next turn, and so it allowed me to take the cake.
Yeah, that was great. It was a fun game, but All right, guys. Well, tell me in the comments below, what do you think? Steven made this, had like 9 different decks, right?
I have 9 old school decks, and this one I chose to play with.
I've never seen you play this.
It's a fun one. It's something that's relatively new, and I really like the concept of it. And
what do you guys think? Put suggestions below. I kind of feel off the top of the gate there should be 2 land tax. I also feel like this unstable mutation is a little bit random. If you're going to go the unstable route, I kind of feel like you should go 4 of in a way to keep them pumping them up. But I really like this, guys. I like the moat effect because you know how it is. Mishra's Factory is really a win con that is prominent in old school. And by Steven doing this, it pretty much shuts a lot of decks down, right? A lot of black decks.
Shuts a lot of factories down. I can dump my hand so quickly where the discard decks have a hard time keeping up with the discard. And it has a good amount of control, so I can still play that dance of counter wars. I can still have that opportunity to disenchant Abyss, anything that comes my way. So I have a lot of answers and still have a lot of threats, and so I think it's a well-balanced deck. It did very well. It did 3-1, and the game I lost to, or the gentleman I lost to, he sideboarded in some jank. That's just what it came down to.
All right, guys. Well, thanks again, guys, for watching. Thanks again, Steve, for your time. GP Seattle 2018. This was a deck played at Lurkercon 4. Lots of great videos. I think we may have some coverage of maybe him playing some of this against, I think you were playing against one of the opponents. I think I got some video of it. So thanks again, Steve. We'll talk to you guys soon.
Take care.